What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Lincoln Lieber, and I'm doing a deep dive into one of the most iconic horror franchises of all time, the Saw franchise. From the twisted games of Jigsaw to the shocking plot twist that left fans speechless, I'm breaking down every movie in the series, discussing the traps, the victims, the timeline, and the moments that changed horror forever. My YouTube channel has 574 subscribers with 1,696 videos and 380,840 views. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on my video. Alright, so let's get right into it. Saw franchise notes. Saw 1. Saw is a 2004 American horror film directed by James Wan. The film tells a narrative revolving around the mystery of the Jigsaw Killer, who tests his victims' will to live by putting them through deadly games where they must inflict great physical pain among themselves to survive. Saw opened at number 3 on Halloween weekend in 2004 in 2,315 theaters and grossed $18.2 million. The story centers on two men, Doctor Lawrence Gordon and Adam Stanheidt, who awaken chained in a bathroom with instructions from the mysterious Jigsaw Killer. Through flashbacks and police investigations, the film reveals Jigsaw's philosophy: to test victims' will to live through brutal moral puzzles. Its narrative and claustrophobic settings contribute a persuasive atmosphere of dread. That's Saw 1. Now I'm going to Saw 2. It's a 2005 horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman and the second installment in the Saw franchise created by James Wan. It continues the story of the Jigsaw Killer, a murderer who placed victims in deadly traps to test their will to live. The film's success solidified Saw as one of the most prominent horror franchises of the 2000s. Set shortly after the first film, Saw 2 follows Detective Eric Matthews as he confronts John Kramer, the Jigsaw Killer. Kramer reveals that 8 people, including Matthews' son, are trapped in a house filled with lethal gas and deadly tapes. The movie intertwines psychological suspense and moral allegory, questioning justice, guilt, and redemption through Jigsaw's twisted philosophy of survival. Saw 2 did $147 million worldwide in the box office. All right, now transitioning over to Saw 3. Saw 3 is a 2006 American horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. It is the third installment in the Saw franchise and continues the psychological and moral games orchestrated by the serial killer known as Jigsaw. The story follows Jigsaw, now dying from cancer, as he and his apprentice Amanda Young set up a final series of tests. A kidnapped doctor must keep Jigsaw alive long enough for another subject, Jeff, to complete his own moral trials of forgiveness and justice. The film explores guilt, retribution, and the blurred line between punishment and redemption through a series of elaborate traps. This software release date came out in 2006, and it grossed 160 million worldwide. So that's Saw 3. Now going to Saw 4. Saw 4 is a 2007 American horror film directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, the fourth installment in the Saw franchise. It continues the story of the serial killer Jigsaw after his death, blending gruesome traps with police procedural elements. The film was released theatrically on October 26, 2007, and it grossed $63.1 million in the U.S. Following the autopsy of Jigsaw, a cassette hidden in his body revealed that his game would continue. The film interweaves flashbacks to Jigsaw's origin, with present-day trap sequences culminating in a timeline twist that links back to previous entries in the series. That's Saw 4. Now going to Saw 5. Saw 5 is a 2008 American horror thriller film in the fifth installment in the Saw franchise. The film continues the story of the Jigsaw legacy following the death of serial killer John Kramer. It centers on Detective Mark Hoffman's attempts to conceal his role as Jigsaw's apprentice. After the demise of Jigsaw, Detective Hoffman emerges as his successor, orchestrating deadly traps to eliminate threats to his secret. Meanwhile, FBI agent Strahm grows suspicions of Hoffman's motives. That's Saw 5. Now on to Saw 6. Saw 6 is a 2009 American horror film and the sixth installment in the Saw franchise. This movie continues the series' elaborate moral tests and traps, exploring themes of justice and retribution. The story follows FBI agent Peter Strahm's aftermath and Detective Mark Hoffman's rise as Jigsaw's successor. The new set of tests target an insurance executive William Easton, forcing him to face the consequences of valuing profits over human life. The film expands on John Kramer's ideology, connecting personal vengeance to systematic injustice. Saw 6 came out October 23rd, 2009. All right, now, Saw 7, which is Saw 3D, also known as Saw the Final Chapter, is a 2010 horror film. It serves as the seventh installment in the Saw series and was marketed as the conclusion to the long-running saga. The movie is notable for being the first in the franchise released in 3D, enhancing its signature traps and gore effects. Set after Saw 6, Saw 3D follows survivor Bobby Dagan, who claims to have escaped one of Jigsaw's traps, but is revealed to be a fraud. When he is kidnapped, he must endure deadly traps to save his life. Meanwhile, the police continue to unravel the web of Jigsaw's legacy, culminating in the revelation of Dr. Lawrence Gordon's fate from the original Saw film. However, it performed strongly at the box office, grossing over $136 million worldwide. There is a big gap between Saw 7 and Saw 8. Jigsaw, 2017. Jigsaw is a 2017 horror film serving as the eighth installment in the Saw franchise. It continues the saga of elaborate moral traps associated with the serial killer John Kramer, also known as Jigsaw Killer. The film marked the series' revival after a 7-year hiatus. Set a decade after the apparent death of John Kramer, Jigsaw follows detectives investigating a string of murders that bear the hallmarks of his infamous games. The narrative alternate the narrative alternatives between present-day police work and scenes of victims trapped in a barn revealing a revealing new apprentices and twists that challenge with perceptions of life, guilt, and justice. Saw 8 came out October 27, 2017. Saw 9, which is the Spiral. Spiral from the Book of Saw is a 2021 horror thriller film. It serves as a spin-off and soft reboot of the Saw franchise, bringing a detective procedural twist to the series' trademark moral traps and psychological games. The film is notable sharing and being co-produced by comedian Chris Rock alongside Samuel L. Jackson. Set in an unnamed American city plagued by police corruption, the story follows Detective Ezekiel Zeke Banks and his rookie partner Max as they investigate a string of grisly murders that also pick up long dead Jigsaw Killer. It released with a $40 million worldwide budget against $20 million. This spiral as the body count rises. Zeke discovers that the new perpetrators elaborate traps and targeted law enforcement officers, exposing systematic abuses and forcing him to confront his own past and relationship with his father, a retired police captain played by Samuel L. Jackson. And the last one, Saw 10. Saw franchise notes. Saw X 2023 is a is a horror film serving as the 10th installment in the Saw franchise. Set between the first two films, it follows John Kramer's attempt to seek a cure for his cancer, blending emotional with the series' signature moral traps. Set in Mexico City, the story follows Jigsaw Killer John Kramer as he travels for an experimental cancer treatment that turns out to be a scam. In retaliation, he abducts those responsible and subjects them to gruesome tests meant to teach moral lessons. This film is in there. This film fills in narrative gaps between Saw and Saw 2. This has been my Saw franchise breakdown. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.